All right, let's do your next lab. This one's actually pretty straightforward. The idea is to have a drop down, and basically you'll have letters, right? And then when you click on the drop down, it'll give you a choice between letters and numbers, and depending on which one you pick will be the one that's shown. So if I click numbers, it will show the numbers and will not show the letters. If I click letters, it will show the letters but not show the numbers. All right, that's it. Okay, so don't overthink this lab. It actually is extremely simple. Um, you can use Bootstrap for the drop downs. What I did, it was the quickest thing to do. All I had to do was basically link the CSS for Bootstrap and in the head tag, and then at the bottom, before the end of the body, link the JavaScript. If you don't have the JavaScript linked, it will not work. So after that, I just copy and pasted their drop down menu. And the main point was that I have two list items here. Okay, the first one is I gave it an ID of letters. I chose this. This was my idea. And I gave the other one an ID of numbers. That way, when I can click on letters and then click on numbers, and they can do different things. All right. The other point was to make certain that you had some HTML to show the letters. So, for example, I just wrapped the letters in a div, called it letter rows, and then here you can see the letters. I've got one for the numbers, okay, ID number row. And notice I have this style display none here so that the numbers don't show when the page loads, right? They'll be hidden. They'll be there, but they'll be hidden, all right? So the main thing was you had to remember that the rule of thumb is if you want the user to interact with it, okay, you got to have some way to target it, okay? The user is going to interact by clicking on one of these two things. So therefore, I gave them both IDs, so that way I can target them. Okay, the other thing is that I put the letters in a block together, so that way they're all like hidden at the same time. Again, you could probably do this differently. I just like for this straightforward approach. All right, let's take a look at the actual JavaScript. Okay, and take a look. Right, and it's fairly simple. First step, always target the things you're going to interact with. So document.getElement by ID, letters. Document.getElement by ID, numbers. Remember that this refers back to this ID. This ID is letters, and this ID is number. So this element right here has an ID of letters. This element right here is an ID of numbers. Okay, so you grab them. Then we add an event listener. Okay, remember, an event listener, event is basically makes it so the computer can react to what the user is doing. So you can read this line like this. When someone clicks on the element with an ID of letters, I want you to run the letters click function. If someone clicks on an element with an ID of numbers, I want you to run the numbers click function. Okay, so it always goes, the element you would like to add the event listener to, then the function add event listener. What is the user doing? What are you reacting to? I'm reacting to the user clicking. Great. When the user clicks, what do you want me to do? I want you to run this function. Okay, that's all an event listener is. When the user does something, what do you want the computer to do? Okay, in this case, when the user clicks, I will run the letters click function that we see on line 12. If they click on number row, they will run the numbers click function, which we find on line 19. One of the two will run depending on what they click. After that, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, I probably didn't need I didn't need to do this. It's actually there's actually no reason for this at all. When I think about it, so let's actually clean up this code a little bit. Okay, double check, make sure. Oh, did we end up getting rid of it? Okay, cool. All right, so letters, numbers, cool. So all you have to do is basically hide and show, right? So if I click on letters, I want to set the style.display of letters to block. And then for number row, set it to none. And then the other function is just the opposite. Hide the letters, show the numbers. Show the letters, hide the numbers. This is very straightforward. So this is one of those labs where you could easily think yourself into a box and kind of not know what to do. But this is really simple. You're either showing one or the other. You have two things. I'm either showing this or hiding this. I'm either showing this or hiding this. And they're basically flipped. If I see this, I don't see this. If I see this, I don't see this. Okay, they're just basically opposites. So you notice in the logic, they're just opposite of one another. All right, so that's the way you kind of had to think about it. This lab was actually probably pretty easy. All right, if you were able to like get that down. So again, we targeted, okay, each item. I'd like to do things by ID because there's only one. There should be only be one letters link up here. So that's the easiest thing to do. So I targeted both of my elements. I'm going to have the user do something with. I add an event listener to that element so that the computer knows, okay, when the user clicks on letters, run the letters click function. When the user clicks on numbers, run the numbers click function. Then the computer will just run the function. I will show letters, hide numbers, or hide numbers, show, oh, sorry, I got it backwards. Show letters, hide numbers, or hide letters, show numbers. You get the idea. So that's all there was to this lab.